Live show, the greatest goddamn podcast. We're doing the Brattleboro news this morning. This show is going to be amazing. We got some killer content for y'all. But first, big shout out to Scott Burton, the Bare Knuckle Hall of Fame, for sending me this cup like 3 years ago. By the way, it's been like 3 years, Scott. Where's all the new stuff? Where is all the new swag? If you're interested in having me feature some of your swag on the Planet Hank Live show, the Brattleboro News Show, hit me up, slide into my DMs, or leave a comment in the comment section that says, hey, look, buddy, I'm making these cups, and I want you to drink out of one for years. Coffee is so good. We're Planet Hank. I'm Hank. I'm the anchor for the Brattleboro News. The greatest news on the web. We got all kinds of stuff going off. The weather is back up. It's been snowy like we had that second winter. I hate the March second winter. And this year it was kind of like the beginning of April. Like it's like they have a day. It's like 70 degrees out. We're all out there. Like we're all happy with our t-shirts on. Diddy bopping on the block. Like, yeah, it's spring. It's spring. Don't worry about it. Everything's cool, right, man? And then all of a sudden, nope. There it goes. Oh, look at that in the comments. And then it's like, there it goes. Turns back into winter. We get 15 inches of snow. Like, are you shitting me? Are you out of your goddamn mind? We're not having it, okay? This snow better be gone for good, okay? So right now it's raining. It's wiping out all the snow. But looking at the weather for the next week, it's going to be up in the 60s and 70s up here, which means that down in the rest of the flat earth, Flatlander U.S., it's about to be 80 degrees. It's about to go directly from winter into freaking hellfire. In the comments, we got Susan Hubble. Honestly, Jeff Bush's comment came in before you. Bing! She says, first! Yes, sure. Jack Shady Grady. Big shout out. Ike Qualman. He goes, it's F-on. Is all the way over in Twitch. Don't forget that we stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X. Who the hell goes on X, by the way? The only person I ever see on X is Elon Musk. Okay, and I got to ask the man. I was like, dude, quit playing with your little rockets and make the goddamn Tesla stock go back up. Are you shitting me? Okay, you got Kramer on Fox Business saying that Tesla has hit the bottom and that we can all invest in it and it's going to go back up. Well, we're waiting. Okay, you guys need to come out with a new car or freaking helicopters or something. Make a Tesla phone that you don't have to charge. Something like that. He goes, quit crying, Brattle Brat. Maine does whine. You are the whiniest one. He goes, stars for swag. Stars for swag. Yes, sir. Yeah. Big shout out to Jeff Bush. Jeff Bush. He is such a good boy. You know, he's always being a great supporter, sending me stars. Make sure you guys send stars. You know what I mean? Shout out to our sponsors, Cherokee Diversified, DR Roofing Solutions LLC. Big shout out to both of those guys. Without them, I don't know. Would I even bother? Would I bother posting all this stupid shit all the time? Probably not. Honestly, probably not. I don't know if I would. You think that you guys are, entertaining enough for me to want to sit in here all the time and run my mouth about the news and everything that's going on? Probably not. Honestly, probably not. Shout out to the sponsors. We probably could have done without that. Todd Albert, Ryan McGrath, Larissa Posse. It's got to be Posse. Yo, Larissa Posse, what's up? Oh, no, it's Larissa Rose. Sorry. My phone was cracked. So we got some news this morning. The Brattleboro News is here to stay. The greatest news show ever. Okay. The town, the weather's been back up. The people are out of their minds. Okay. They are absolutely out of their minds. And I've been enjoying it. Honestly, I have. And hey, You guys can yell at me about that all you want, but I think that it's been fantastic. It's made the news super interesting for the last couple days. Just don't mind me. I am transferring files right now into the Planet Hank Morning Show file so that we can watch them and enjoy them together. I've got some of the greatest news stories. I've got another one coming out today about an accident, and there's some really funny comments in there. He goes, "Love you, Father Hank. Good morning. Elena Hubble is taking her last quiz for the consumer behavior class right now. She says, 'What's up?' from Lil Goatsy." What a good little Goatsy she is, by the way. Super proud of her. Taking her final quizzes. She's in college up in Maine. She says she's working on a song for the Planet Hank live show. She's going to make us a theme song from the very talented Hills of Maine. Okay? We've got many people up in Maine who are supporters, but Elena Hubble, Lil Goatsy, and her mommy are one of the greatest Mainites that watch the show. She goes, "Maine loves the Brattleboro news, though." I know they do. I know they do. So what I'm going to do right now is that I'm going to take a second and I'm going to share this up. I'm going to share this up. Morning talk show, news, and guests. Okay? And I'm going to share that into the Planet Hank live room, the Planet Hank locker room, which is the greatest group. I advise all of you to hop in and take a look at everything that's going on with that. We're going to have some fighters on. We're going to watch some news clips. We post all of our stuff up into these groups every day. And I advise that you guys all follow along. Now, we've all noticed my Brattleboro news clips. They are fire. Okay? I'm super proud of them. It really helps us if you share them. If you share them, if you share this live stream. Bethany McFadden is watching. Big shout out. Kelsey Ann Sarnecki. Rick Caruso. Big shout out to Slick Rick. Look at that bicep right there. Come on. He goes, "What would we do? What would we do?" So let's watch a clip. So since the weather's been nice out, people have been losing their goddamn minds. They've been going wild. Things have been out of control in the 802 in Brattleboro. Okay, everybody's been having the time of their life. Nobody's been following the rules. The scanners have been exploding, literally exploding. Blaine up in the building. What up, Blaine? Big shout out to Blaine. He goes, "Fireworks." There he is. Yes, sir. Planet Hank live show. So here's a story that I captured a day ago. And I'm going to play the clip, and then I'll give you guys a chance to comment. And I'll talk about it. And I'll give you some backstory and some tidbits that aren't included into the original post.
Breaking news.
I'm Hank with Brattleboro News and PlanetHank.com. I'm responding to a call the police got today around 3:30, where a local man was causing a disturbance on Walnut Street in front of the St. Michael's Catholic School, downtown Brattleboro. The man was here at St. Bridget's Kitchen and Pantry, and he had a bunch of items with him, and he was spreading them all out on the grass, and the local Catholic priest did not like it and told him that he was making a mess. Basically, that caused a big argument, and the man started using profanity. The children were just getting out of school at St. Michael's Catholic School, and basically this was a big disturbance with a lot of profanity and arguing that they did not want. The priest called the police and asked that they create a temporary no trespass order for the man so that he could not return to the area of St. Michael's Catholic Church or the area of Walnut Street. I had a chance to catch up with the man at Brattleboro Memorial Park after police notified him of the temporary no trespass order that they were issuing. I got a chance to get a comment from him.
then, Father said I made a mess, and I said I didn't. So we had a disagreement on exactly the meaning of the term sin and what needed to be confessed. I threw that in. So you can leave that. So it's standard procedure. You go into booth and you tell the guy what you did. You lie about it mostly. I mean, you're not going to tell him the good stuff. You have to. You can't, all right, you can just edit that. Anyway, so then he called the police. And gave me a temporary no trespass order, which actually the former father, I like his biblical language because he said I was actually banished, which is a really cool word. I told him, you mean actual banished? For smoking weed in the bathroom, and he smelled it.
He said basically that the priest told him that he was making a mess and that he didn't like it, so that he told him off, and that he told him how he felt, and that he caused a scene, and he stormed off and went to the park.
I made a little bit of a mess, and one of the priests at the church decided that he didn't like that mess, so he got mad at me about the mess, and I said, well, you know, it's inappropriate for you to be angry at me because it's not really a mess. I'm just organizing my bag, and there's a lot in here, so when I put it back, there won't be a mess. And he said, yeah, but there are children present, and I said, well, I don't see any heroin needles or fentanyl products here, so there was a little marijuana pipe maybe, but, you know, the kids can't see that from way over there.
I'm Hank with Brattleboro News and PlentyHank.com.
Oh, what a classic. So the man's name is Kenny G Jr. He is a local gem that we have here in Brattleboro. He's giving me all kinds of content all the time. He's featured in my reality show. He goes, Hank, the Brattleboro legend. He goes, that guy would eat a human. I kind of agree with that. Kenny is not playing around. Kenny is like a wild animal out there. He doesn't care. He's happier out. See, it was raining yesterday, and I told someone, I was like, oh, well, guess what? I feel bad for Kenny because I could see him over there at the Brattleboro Commons, and it was raining, and he had all his stuff all set up so that he wouldn't get wet. And I was like, man, I feel bad for him. He can't mess around all day because it's raining. And they were like, listen, he's happier like that. You didn't feel bad for him. He has so much freedom in his life like this. This man is happier out here being able to do all his shit. If he was trapped inside, he would be miserable. Kenny is the same guy that gave us the rat clip. He's the one, I'll play it again after I give a little explainer about some of the backstory involving this. Okay, so the comments in this video, it's all over the original video. You can see that video on the Planet Hank page. You can comment. Please comment and share. It helps me so much while we're just getting started. Basically, the call came across the scanner that there was a dangerous individual causing a disturbance in front of the Catholic school, St. Michael's Catholic School on Walnut Street. So then it came across the radio that basically, you know, an extra precaution that the man is known to have a knife on him at times and that he can get violent. Okay, so I kind of was like, oh shit, and what's going on? So I pulled in. I was like, okay, this call seems pretty weird. In front of the Catholic school, the kids were getting out of school at this time. And basically, you know, when they said that dude had a knife, I was like, oh, God, here we go. So the cop pulls in and I pull in. Well, I pulled in before the cop. I've got a better response time than the Brattleboro PD. Bow. But so I pull in and I'm looking around. I can't see anybody. I didn't know. And all of a sudden the cop pulls in. So the cop pulls in and the Catholic priest comes out and starts talking to cop. And, you know, I was staying back a little, and they're doing this and that, and the priest is pointing over to the school, and you could see him doing this, and then a social worker pulls in with another woman. You could see him in the video, they're posted there, and it was basically he goes, Kenny would snap your neck with his thumb too. Man, I wouldn't want his thumbs touching me. Put it that way. So basically, I get a statement from the priest who goes, okay, it was just a disturbance. He was using profanity out here, blah, blah, blah. So I was giving the priest and the police officer and the social worker some space. So I back off and I'm standing over by where the Dead River Oil Company is. And one of the employees that I know, my friend, he comes over and he starts laughing and he just starts telling me. And I was like, bro, you want to be on the news? And he's like, dude, I can't. I'm at work. But basically what happened, he goes, man, this guy was screaming. He was screaming all the worst possible things that you could yell. He was telling the priest to suck his cock. He was screaming, fuck the church, fuck everybody. You know what I mean? He was yelling that the priest was fucking all the kids and that the priest loves fucking all the kids and that he's a pedophile and he's a piece of shit and all of that. And then, like, he said that when you look, he said all the kids came out of the school. So there was, 40 or 50 kids standing out on the front yard waiting for their mommy and daddies to pick them up. And there was this huge blowout. And he said, so then Kenny starts throwing all of his stuff. They said he made a mess. So Kenny started throwing all of his stuff all over the road, all over the sidewalks, throwing a tantrum. Just saying the worst, most graphic, nasty stuff that he could say and throwing a tantrum and making it worse. So basically the cop, everybody loves Kenny. Even the cop was laughing. Shout out to my boy Ryan Washburn. He had me dead, bro. He was sitting there laughing with me, and basically the only one who was mad was the priest. The priest was kind of pissed about it, and he was like, no, I can't say anything. I talked to one of the nuns, and she was like, I can't believe that this happened. And I told her that I was a reporter, and she goes, oh, well, I cannot say anything. You'll have to talk to the father and everything. She goes back into the nunnery. It's pretty cool down there on Walnut Street. They have a pretty cool old setup. They've got the Catholic Church, St. Michael's Catholic Church on one side of the road. And right next door, there's the nunnery, like where the nuns and they all live inside of there. And then across the street, they've got St. Michael's Catholic School, like a traditional Catholic school. And next to that, they've got Bridget's kitchen and whatever. It's like a food pantry for the homeless. So it's like 4 buildings, and then another building's a social services building. But that's why Kenny was there. Kenny was there to receive their social services and go to the food pantry. So if you've been paying attention to what's been going on in local news, the state of Vermont has like banned and is trying to get rid of the housing voucher program. They pay vouchers for hotels to people who are homeless, unhoused, whatever it is. They give them free hotel rooms. So they basically like did away with the program and booted a bunch of people out of their hotel rooms and this and that. So Kenny has been, they also have this new program where if the homeless people leave their stuff all over town, if they leave a bunch of stuff laying on the ground or whatever, and the town people, the cops, municipal people find it, they will take it and throw it out. So Kenny has been hiding his stuff. Kenny loves stuff. He hunts all day for stuff. He's got, bags. You can see it in the video. He's got a cart now. He's got all kinds of stuff. And I always do these videos with him for the Planet Hank Street Roast where I'll be like, Kenny, what do we got today? And he'll show me all the funny shit he has and explain it. And it's absolute comedy, the whole thing. He goes, Bethany McFadden says, you kind of have to have a sense of humor to be a cop because I'm sure they see some pretty ridiculous stuff. Facts. You have to be able to laugh at this because otherwise you're going to get all upset. You're going to get pissed. But so basically the cops are laughing. Kenny was hiding his stuff behind the food kitchen. He has these little caches of good stuff. He'll like take it and stuff it in plastic 1-zip bags and wrap it up and try to hide it like in the corner of behind a building where nobody's really going to go usually, and they won't be able to see it from the windows. my buddy at Dead River was like, yeah, Kenny's got a bunch of stuff over there, and he's and he was going back there, and that's when the priest was like, dude, you're making a mess. You're leaving all your stuff out all over the place and hiding it in the back, and it's a huge mess. She said at work, I gotta keep you low because of that mouth. I love you, Hanky. Yes. Listen to Lisan De Gio says, hey, I've been following you since you chasing the crackhead bike thief. Yes, thanks for the follows. Thanks for all of the support, everybody. So let me continue this story before I get lost, because this is too good. So he screams at the priest. He tells him all that profanity. He says that he's going to throw him, that the priest was fucking the kids and all of that. So we go up to the park. We all pull out of there. The cop pulls out of there. I'm like, later, blah, 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 blah. So I'm just pulling out, and I noticed the cop made a loop around the rotary twice. So I was like, oh, shit, what's going on? Because I was leaving there. I knew it was Kenny, and I was like, I'm going to go interview Kenny. But then the way the cop pulled around the rotary twice, I was like, oh, something's up. I already know something's up. Why would he do that? So the cop pulled up, and sure enough, there's Kenny sitting in the park, and the cop pulls into the park with the cruiser and pulls right up to the picnic table. Kenny's out there. He's got all his shit spread out all over the table, all over the ground. He's got stuff everywhere. And he's just sitting at the table, drawing on his arm with a gold paint pen. He's drawing all these swirly designs all up both of his arms, his shirt off, everything. It was wild. He's yelling all this funny stuff at the cops. Eventually, I'm gonna use that for the reality show. I'm gonna put some of the extra behind the scenes clips of all my stories in my reality show that's coming out. So we go up to him and we're talking, and I stay back and let the cop issue this temporary no trespass order and everything. And then so I go up to him after the cop leaves. Kenny's yelling to the cop. He's like, oh, you're the greatest police officer in the history of Brattleboro. He says, how do you like the new chief and everything? It was pretty funny. He says, I'm going to have some words with her. So I go and I get my statement from Kenny. Kenny gives me a statement. No shit. It's 3-4 minutes, one long sentence. The man does not take a breath. He just goes off telling me every single thing about Brattleboro, he says, I told him to suck my hairy Italian cock. He says, I told him that he's a da-da-da-da-da. And basically, so I had to pick. It took me a couple minutes to pick out what I could and could not put in the news story. And honestly, what was in the news story was gold. So he says basically that he was making a mess, and he said he wasn't, and the priest said he was, so they started arguing, and that, he was banished. And then he gets off on the word banished, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. He said, then he basically told on himself again and said, hey, listen, I was in the bathroom smoking pot, and they banished me. And I was like, bro, are you shitting me? Who smokes weed in the freaking bathroom at a freaking Catholic church? Like, you got to be out of your goddamn mind. I'm trying to send out a link. I'm sorry. Gives me the gold, and then, I get the story. So Kenny was issued a temporary no trespass order for basically using profanity in front of the kids. That's a big no-no, according to them. They are not having it. So let's watch it again. He goes, O.J. Simpson died. Oh, shit. O.J. Simpson died. That is terrible news, bro. At 76, we just got the news in the comments. O.J. Simpson is dead. Let's have a cheers and a moment of silence for O.J. Simpson. Cheers. Okay, that's long enough for OJ. Let me sending out a link right now to my first guest. Let's see if we can't get him in here. Boom. Let's see where he's at. We are going to the Planet Hank live show. I love this show. I literally love it so much. She said, fuck OJ. She said, Elena, listen to this part of this video for R&D of the Hank song. Okay. He laughed. She said, fuck OJ. Jesus Christ, Susan Hubble. I know you're a white woman, okay? But you gotta love some OJ, bro. You gotta love you some OJ. The Planet Hank live show, the greatest goddamn newscast in the history of the world.
Breaking news.
I'm Hank with Brattleboro News and PlanetHank.com. I'm responding to a call the police got today around 3:30 where a local man was causing a disturbance on Walnut Street in front of the St. Michael's Catholic School, downtown Brattleboro. The man was here at St. Bridget's Kitchen and Pantry, and he had a bunch of items with him, and he was spreading them all out on the grass, and the local Catholic priest did not like it and told him that he was making a mess. Basically, that caused a big argument, and the man started using profanity. The children were just getting out of school at St. Michael's Catholic School, and basically this was a big disturbance with a lot of profanity and arguing that they did not want. The priest called the police and asked that they create a temporary no trespass order for the man so that he could not return to the area of St. Michael's Catholic Church or the area of Walnut Street. I had a chance to catch up with the man at Brattleboro Memorial Park after police notified him of the temporary no trespass order that they were issuing. I got a chance to get a comment from him.
Then, Father said I made a mess, and I said I didn't, so we had a disagreement on exactly the meaning of the term sin and what needed to be confessed. I threw that in. So, you can leave that. So, it's standard procedure. You go into the booth and you tell the guy what you did. You lie about it mostly. I mean, you're not going to tell him the good stuff. You can just edit that. Anyway, so then he called the police and gave me a temporary no trespass order, which actually the former father, I like his biblical language because he said I was actually banished, which is a really cool word. I told him, you mean actual banished? For smoking weed in the bathroom, and he smelled it.
He said basically that the priest told him that he was making a mess and that he didn't like it, so that he told him off, and that he told him how he felt, and that he caused a scene, and he stormed off and went to the park.
I made a little bit of a mess, and one of the priests at the church decided that he didn't like that mess, so he got mad at me about the mess, and I said, well, you know, it's inappropriate for you to be angry at me because it's not really a mess. I'm just organizing my bag, and there's a lot in here. So when I put it back, there won't be a mess. And he said, yeah, but there are children present. And I said, well, I don't see any heroin needles or fentanyl products here. So there was a little marijuana pipe maybe, but you know, the kids can't see that from way over there.
I'm Hank with Brattleboro News and PlanetHank.com.
Bro, I'm telling you, when Kenny did the... Yo, I swear to God, I laughed because I was channeling his inner Charles Manson. It reminded me of when Charles Manson was testifying on stage in the courtroom. Remember that? That's basically what he said. He literally, Charles Manson was like, beep, 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 beep. Remember that? That was some of the best testimony I've ever seen in my life. Man. So funny. Mike says, you need to take your tripod with you. Yeah, I do take the tripod with me, and I try to use it as much as possible. But when the story is clapping, when action is happening, you can't be trapped on a tripod. It makes it worse. Then it's 100 times more, it's 100 times worse when it's trapped on a tripod and you're trying to run around. So there's another news story. Moving on. There's another news story out. There's so much news coming out. But this one is national news. This is a huge story. Basically, our president, Joe Biden. He's sitting there, and they put this woman in jail, or are sentenced a woman that she needs to go to jail because she sold his daughter's diary, which was left in a Delray Beach house, to Project Veritas for $40,000. And they're pretty much acting like it was receiving stolen property or selling stolen property or whatever. But what was written in that diary was insanely juicy. And it's causing all kinds of hell, and it's all over the news. So basically, the question is, should we be able to read the diary and take what, is said in the diary and use that to judge against what we feel with President Biden? Or is there some sort of unwritten rule, unwritten ethics that, like, hey, this is her private diary and that it was stolen nefariously and that we should not, count this? Now watch, I've got a news clip here.
Were sexualized at a young age. What is this due to? Was I molested? I think so. I can't remember the specifics, but I do remember trauma. I remember not liking the blank house at some family's house. I remember somewhat being sexualized with a female cousin. I remember having sex with friends at a young age. Showers with my dad, probably not appropriate. Being turned on when I wasn't supposed to be. And she goes from there. The showers with her dad, which she describes as probably not appropriate, is newsworthy. And it's especially newsworthy because it fits into a greater pattern of bizarre behavior by Joe Biden with young women that the media has also been reluctant to cover.
A New York district judge to sentence the woman who they claim stole first daughter Ashley Biden's diary to 4 to 10 months in prison for the crime.
2 people from Florida have pleaded guilty to stealing and selling the private diary of President Biden's daughter, Ashley. Biden's daughter was moving from a friend's home in 2020, and she left behind some personal items, including her diary. They were found by a woman who, along with a friend, sold them to the conservative activist group Project Veritas. They've been ordered to forfeit the $40,000 they were paid, and they now face 5 years in prison.
Nixon went for the guy's medical records from his psychiatrist's office. Here we've descended even from there to the personal diary of the daughter of the president. And now it is literally a federal criminal investigation. How is this real? How is this not bad fiction?
So there we have it. There's the story. I hope you like my video. I put it all together for you guys. I got a few different sides of the story. I wanted to make sure that I put some on both end of the spectrum. Obviously, it seems like the left is like protecting him, and the right obviously wants the story out, and I mean, we all know why, and what this is really bad. But honestly, bro, are you kidding me? You found the president's daughter's diary and it says that she was showering with her dad and that she was inappropriately turned on? I mean, come on. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous stuff to have in your diary. And then, so the story goes that she left it in her old house in Delray Beach, and the new tenant moved in, who was a Trump supporter, and found it and read it and was like, what the hell is this? And knew whose diary it was. So she posted about it on her social media and released a story basically saying, I got Ashley Biden's diary. And, probably immediately from there, Project Veritas was like, yo, and called her up. Gave her 40 G's. You know what I mean? 40 G's? Ridiculous. And now she had to give back the 40 G's and they're going to put her in jail for like a month or something. Totally ridiculous. She didn't do anything wrong. She found this goddamn property. We have a saying in the Marine Corps, gear adrift is gear a gift. Okay? You find something laying around, that's not stealing. Okay? He goes, that should have been no less than 6 figures. He said, minor attracted adults, bro. They're trying to make it okay under Biden. It's so obvious that he is a pedo. Yeah, I mean, this guy has been called out time and time again for the way he, like, sniffs children's hair and the way he inappropriately touches women and, like, hugs them and does all this weird stuff. But honestly, this diary, and you could go back and look and zoom in or find it on your own. I mean, it says exactly the most disgusting thing. Showering with her father was probably inappropriate. Like, what? She says I was highly sexualized and that she was scared of one of her family friends' houses and everything else. To me, that's disgusting. Okay, that is absolutely inappropriate. It's not okay. Literally, that's not okay. And I think that we should be able to talk about it. The fact that they're trying to cover it up is totally inappropriate. That's what's inappropriate. There is no way that we should not be able to talk about that, or that the story should have been, like, covered up. It's also, like, crazy to me that the left, like you see at the end, that Rachel Maddow, crazy woman there, she's, like, trying to make it like they shouldn't even consider thinking about or talking about the story. That somehow having the diary, like, literally, dude, she left the diary at her old house and someone found it and read it. And somehow they're acting like that is like Nixon targeting somebody and trying to, like, you know, that is bullshit. Okay, that's a reach to me. That's a huge reach. Okay, the diary was found. Okay, and it's newsworthy. And people need to know that the president was having showers with his young daughter. That's crazy. Okay? He said it's sad for the young lady. She's grown up now. That was her in the video. You know what I mean? And it is sad. It's sad for all of us. It's sad for other young girls and boys who are victims of rape and pedophilia and all of that. I mean, it's really sad. You know, it sets a precedent that, like, somehow nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen out in the world if this happens to you. The president's doing it. It must be okay. You know, which I think is total bullshit. She goes, agreed. I think that people need to know. Good point. Great point, matter of fact. That's a wonderful point by the matter of fact. It's Planet Hank live show, the greatest good boy live show that you're ever going to see. So I got another story for you today. The Brattleboro news was active. The police were all over the town, responding to calls, going crazy. Now, this story has struck up a conversation locally. A lot of people are talking about it. Everybody has an opinion, and opinions are like assholes, and everybody's got one. But this one, I think that we are all going to be able to agree on this because there was quite a lot of commentary and some light was shed. So I'll play the video, and then I'm going to wait for you guys to respond and give your opinions and comments, and then we can all talk about it. And then, of course, I'll give you some juicy details that are not included into the original videos. It's sort of like a reason that you want to see this podcast and see what else happened with these if you're interested.
Breaking news.
I'm Hank with Brattleboro News and PlanetHank.com. I'm here on site where the police pulled over a female driver off Putney Road about 6 p.m. on Tuesday night. The police pulled her over for a routine traffic stop. It's unclear of what they stopped her for specifically because the officers would not respond to questioning. The female driver's information was called in by one of the officers as a second vehicle pulled up, and her information came back as criminally suspended license. The officers took her out of the vehicle and put her in cuffs, put her in the back of the police car and took her away. The second officer hopped in her vehicle and pulled it off the road into the Horizon Dental parking lot, which I thought was a pretty nice thing to do because usually police will just have your car towed, and that can cost you a fortune these days. So the fact that the cop pulled her vehicle off the road to help save her some unneeded expenses was a pretty nice thing to do. Sweet whip you got, bro. You should have did some burnouts.
Little cars ain't built for
big old, yeah. I'm Hank with Brattleboro News and PlanetHank.com.
Yo, Brattleboro News is lit. That story right there has caused so much shit. So many people know all about who this is. I don't know what her name is. I never really paid attention to that, and I don't ask the police. It's not part of my story. But he said she looked at you like, damn, he got me. Yeah, so as we did a little more research on this story, she's been all over the news. This is not her first news story for the exact same thing. Driving under a criminally suspended license, which I guess was suspended for driving drunk with kids in the car and everything else. She said, see, look, here's some more stuff. Bethany writes, that girl also snuck drugs into her baby daddy when he was hospitalized, and he ended up passing away. Oh, Jesus Christ. So she also has a news story out where she was driving at 100 miles an hour through Putney with two kids in the car without any car seats. So she was like busted for child endangerment or cruelty to a child ×2, suspended her license again, arrested, and I feel like she was out on bail. Okay, so she was sitting in the car. And she probably knew that this was all going to happen. She's probably on her cell phone. I stay back a little bit and let the officers, especially during a traffic stop, they have no idea what's going to happen. And the town, and you could go to the original post. All the posts and the news stories are on the Planet Hank Live, the Planet Hank Facebook page. They're on our YouTube page. Make sure you show some love to my YouTube page. We always love getting comments. We're on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I post all of my content everywhere, so you guys will have an opportunity. But even if you've seen it already, I would love for some shares, some comments. It will really help this grow. Okay, but so the conversation took place on Facebook. People were like, so it was really nice of the officer to pull the car into the Horizon Dental parking lot. But then they were like, Horizon is just going to tow that car first thing in the morning. Okay, so even if he pulled it off and let her go to jail or whatever, blah, blah, they're going to tow it. So then I said, wow, good point. I wonder if that's what happened. So I drove out again last night to go check and see what happened, and the car was gone. The car was gone. So I don't know. I'm wondering is if they bailed her again, which I'd be surprised, honestly. I mean, I don't know what she was doing for the traffic stop this time, but I know that it came across the scanner that it was criminally suspended license, which means, you're going to jail. And that's not just like, hey, you didn't pay a fine, you didn't do something, you know what I mean? You had an expired license, none of that. That means that you went to court, you had a DWI, You did a crime that was enough of a crime that they took your license for a period of time. So then when you get caught driving again, they take it much more seriously. But yeah, so then here comes all the comments from all the townspeople. There's, a ton of them on there and everybody giving details. They posted the news article of her driving over 100 miles an hour with the kids in the car. Comments like this. She also snuck drugs into her baby daddy when he was hospitalized and then he ended up dying. I mean, that's just shitty. You know what I mean? So it's like, is it because of the drugs and he died at the hospital? I have no idea. But basically, you can get the idea. Jeff says right here, she probably bonded out and went to go get it. Hopefully. You know what I mean? Or actually, hopefully not. Hopefully she's not driving. If she bonded out, went and got her car and took off driving it again, that is some wild shit to me. He goes, you are a bad, bad girl. That's right. A very, very bad girl. The Brattleboro News, Planet Hank Live. You can find all the news articles. There'll be another one coming out today about an accident that happened on the Rotary. Okay, moving on. So let's talk about my good boy, my very good boy, by the way, my boy Marco. Marco has hurt his leg very badly. He has a partial ACL tear on his back right leg. This is Marco. He's seen at his vet. This is him at his vet visit because he's so mad and so misbehaved that he will bite your ass. Marco is definitely not having it. You touch his leg, he's coming for you. He is coming for you. He will bite you up. And he is in a lot of pain. And yesterday he jumped all crazy and awkward and re-injured it again. So now he's limping. I was able to buy him a knee brace. His knee brace should be here on Saturday. And he's laying in bed right now with a pillow and a blanket and is on his pain medicine. And he's on some CBD and everything like that. So he can't really come and play on the podcast this morning. He's not coming to get a treat or any of that stuff. But Marco is in pain. He appreciates all the love that he gets from everybody. He appreciates all the attention and all the likes and loves. Maybe everybody could mash up the hearts for Marco right now in the comments. You mash them all up. Show him how much you love him. Yesterday, when I was trying to move him around in bed, he literally went to go bite my hand. He is not having it. Thank you for the hearts. The Planet Hank Live show. And then the last story that I got for you guys today is obviously everybody wouldn't stop talking about it. Monday, we had a wonderful, wonderful anomaly. We had a solar eclipse, a massive solar eclipse, and the direct path of totality went right over northern Vermont, which gave me the opportunity to drive up to St. Johnsbury, Vermont, and see this event. It blew my mind. The eclipse was amazing, okay? That eclipse changed my life. Honestly, I felt like magical spirit powers, you know what I mean? Like entering into my soul. Like I literally started tearing up a little. I've never seen anything like that in my life. Like I know they said there was one in 2017 or whatever. I did not see it like that. This total eclipse, and I was in the path of totality. I drove up to St. Johnsbury. We were out in this big field on a farm. I feel like it was a cow farm or whatever. I don't know what the farm was, but it was this big farm. And there was all kinds of people all laid out with their chairs and everything. Everybody started cheering and clapping when it went to totality. And bro, I got goosebumps all over my body. I started tearing up a little bit. I was cheering. I was so happy. It was wild. I mean, anybody who's hating on it, oh, it's such freaking clips, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, get them out of your life. Get rid of them. You don't need them in their life. Okay? The eclipse was amazing. If you can't see that, then you got problems. You have emotional problems. You need therapy. You probably need to be medicated. Someone needs to tie you down and probably whip you a little bit. You know what I mean? Be happy. Let other people be happy. Are you kidding me? The eclipse was amazing. Okay? There are things out there that are bigger than you. And I felt like, honestly, it was magic. It was magical. It was a magical experience that I appreciated. Okay? Thanks a lot, the moon, for going in front of the sun. Okay? I'm happy. I'm happy now. Can't you tell how happy I am? Okay? I thought it was great. He goes, anyone hating wasn't in the line of totality. Exactly. If you are not in the line of totality, then you need to shut your mouth. Okay? Drive up. Take a peek at something going on in the world. You're going to love it. It was awesome. It recharged my whole body. It made me happy. I've got a eclipse video coming out for fact8.com, the TV station that I work at. And you guys are going to get a chance to come with me along my travels and my road trip up to northern Vermont, see some awesome drone shots and some stuff and some videos of me talking about it and some videos of everything going on. It was amazing. So basically, you drive up. There was traffic the whole way. It took me 3 hours, 4 hours just to get up there. Complete deadlock traffic all the way up 91. You get out of the car. I was probably, dude, I was only on the farm for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes goes by, and the eclipse happens. And then immediately you're like looking around after totality and the sun starts coming back out. And it's like, get back in your car. Get back in your car and race back to the highway so that you don't get jammed up in traffic. And it seemed like everybody had the same idea because immediately as soon as you get back on 91 South, back in traffic, took another 3-4 hours to get home. It was absolutely crazy. But I'll tell you like this, it was totally worth it. It was totally worth it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure that you follow, subscribe. Make sure that you appreciate everything by going to my Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, my TikTok, liking and sharing those videos. Put some comments under it. The Brattleboro News has just started. We've had a super successful launch for the Brattleboro News. Everybody's been hella supportive. And everything. The news stations are picking them up. They're showing on television. That is how I make my money. So it means a lot to me if you guys go and help it get it off the ground and get it started. The Planet Hank live show, the greatest podcast in the world.